Joining us right here on ET Now on Davos Direct is a very special guest. He's almost a Davos veteran of sorts now. Mr. C.P. Gurnani is here with us. Thanks very much for being with us. The entire discourse, the entire dialogue has a lot to do with the US and what's going to happen in the US and what Donald Trump means for the world. You are somebody who has his skin in the game as far as his presidency is concerned. You represent the Indian I.T. sector, and many people believe the Indian I.T. sector could be at the receiving end of the Trump presidency. Do you share similar concerns?
Not really. And a couple of reasons for it. Number one is Trump has been very, very clear that he does not want the displacement of low-skilled workers. We, by definition, only provide high-skilled workers. We are clearly, we help Trump in not only creating jobs, because let's face it, Indian IT industry spends almost $4 to $5 billion in US.
That's right.
I mean, all these companies that you hear of, either a Wipro buying or a Infosys buying or a Tech Mahindra buying, ultimately it is helping the American entrepreneurs also.
Right.
And just to give you an example, even last year, Tech Mahindra has opened 3 new centers. We have now total 6 centers in United States. We take a lot of grads from the college, skill them and put them onto jobs which creates products which make US more competitive.
So you're not really displacing the blue-collar jobs there. But I want to ask you, in the light of the President-elect Trump's comments that are coming in, what sort of impact are you seeing on IT spends for companies? Are there early signs that you're reading just yet?
No, the IT spends actually are going up. Even the Gartner report talks about a 2.9% growth in the IT spend. And frankly, the way I look at it is there are 3 parts to it. In short term, there may be obstacles. I mean, whether it's a Brexit as an obstacle, whether it's a foreign currency volatility as an obstacle, or whether it is, a bill in US which may become a law or may not become a law. That I can see it as an obstacle in short term. But in a medium and long term, I think Indian IT industry will do very, very well.
So in terms of the demand environment or in terms of discretionary spending, you say there could be a short-term blip, but you assess that mid or long-term it's going to go up.
I'm not saying that the short term there will be blip in the demand. It is just a question is that fulfillment. Per se, we may have some challenges because if I am not able to get the right people at the right place, I will have a blip. But overall, I am very, very confident that it is an opportunity for India to get more aggressive into platforms, more aggressive into the brick and click economy, more aggressive to create products. At the same time, I think overall, the way the technological collaboration works, the way this whole connected world works, it's very easy to create a connected collaborative environment.
One wonders if the world is going to stay connected, but I must ask you a question that obviously impacts you, which is talent management. And what do the new H-1B visa rules, which are perhaps going to be reviewed, do for you? Will we look at more onshore hiring in places like the US? I'm sure these are things that you have internally deliberated upon, internally discussed just yet.
I would like to believe that Tech Mahindra is very conscious that it is not only US. The world is about now localization. And when you talk about localization, we are now talking about the world where the local skills have to be upgraded so that we continuously are able to deliver projects not only from offshore. And for us, offshore is no longer India. We have centers in Malaysia, we have centers in China, we have centers in Singapore, we have centers in Canada. All I'm trying to repeat is we operate in 90 countries. Like when you go and see a Siemens or a Philips or a Citibank, you assume that they are the local firms or local corporations.
And that's the new globalization that the world is going to see, which is localization. But what does this do to companies like yourselves, your margins, for instance? And there's been so much debate and discourse on how IT margins are going to be squeezed because, and rightly so, you will be looking at localization in some of the developed markets where it is going to take a hit on your margins, will it not?
As I said earlier also, that there will be obstacles, there is no second thought about it. But the best way to describe it, I was addressing one of my internal conferences. I said, we Indians are skilled at driving where we find an open space and get in out there. So I don't think the obstacles are going to deter us. We do realize that we will have to continuously evolve our service offerings. And the world around us, whether it is IoT or whether it is digitization, the opportunities are immense.
So when you say digitization, it obviously brings me to my next question about India, demonetization. In fact, something that we at Times Group are calling remonetization is going to have a big impact as far as markets like, an Indian market is concerned, more cashless economy. What sort of an opportunity does this open up for players like yourselves?
Very interesting. I mean, initially when we looked at demonetization, as you know, we invested or are a majority shareholder in a product platform called Comviva.
That's right.
And we have our own platforms for Mobiquity solutions. We work with a lot of banks. And I thought, you're great. I mean, my Comviva business will go up, and their experience of running, digital banks or, the mobile wallets, I mean, it's going to become very, very important.
Right.
The best part is that linkage of Aadhaar with all these, instruments. I think what has opened up is that I've got inquiries from Malaysia and Indonesia now.
Okay.
So emerging markets or emerging world, you suddenly feel is that they think we have leapfrogged in Fintech. And if we leapfrog in Fintech, it helps us in addressing, and let's face it, developing world is a much bigger market when
That's
it
right.
comes to new age Fintech solutions than the developed world.
So demonetization, according to you, has actually left a big elbow room for remonetization, and in that sense has left a big elbow room for the world to create and get cues from. I have a quick last question to ask of you. The world is debating whether we are globalized, has globalization worked or not, but the world is also debating whether things like artificial intelligence, machine learning, are these going to displace jobs all over the world? Maybe blue-collar jobs, but are there concerns that you're seeing in your industry as well?
That it is a fact that any automation means job displacement. Now, the fact is, does this mean that those jobs will not, one part of the job will go away? That is certain. Now, the question for all of us is that are we going to spend enough of our own energies in skill upgradation, because the world also needs the new skills.
Right.
And I do believe that there is a lot more to be done, because the new age skills are almost ambidextrous. You need people who understand technology, who understand processes, who understand, how to take advantage of the world of automation and artificial intelligence and use machines or use that deep machine learning to create new possibilities.
And that's the world that we're increasingly going to be turning to. Thanks very much for speaking right here in Davos yet again. Mr. C.P. Gurnani in conversation with us right here at ET Now.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ET Now, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ET Now Live. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ET Now.